Slow your aging with these 4 Ikigai activities. That's something I'm going to talk about today, so stick around. Hi, my name is Hachiaki Takamiya. I am the author of Live Wiser, Not Smarter. In the last video, I shared with you what is the secret to living 28% longer. And today, I'll be sharing with you what is the secret to staying 80% healthy. Staying 80% healthy? What does it mean? Well, it means Hara Hachibunme. Have you ever heard of Hara Hachibunme? It is often talked about as a sort of a secret to longevity in Okinawa. Now, Dan Buettner in his Blue Zone series said Hara Hachibu, but Hara Hachibunme and Hara Hachibu are the same meaning. They are both Japanese words. In fact, this is the Japanese concept, not unique to Okinawa. It's all over Japan. People practice Hara Hachibunme. The same with Ikigai. Ikigai is a Japanese concept. It's not unique to Okinawan culture. Now, Hara Hachibunme means 80% full. Now, it is often used in the context of eating. When you eat, you want to stop when you are 80% full. Do not continue eating until you become completely full. That is the message of Hara Hachibunme. Now, this Hara Hachibunme is critical. I think this is one of the most important elements of health and longevity. So that's something I'll be talking about today. So please watch the video until the end. Thank you. Now, those of you who just discovered this video today, this is the Ikigai Diet channel, which is a health and longevity channel. We usually cover things like diet, exercise, mindset, and sometimes we cover Japanese blue zones because there are several blue zones in Japan other than Okinawa. And we cover from traditional Japanese health method to modern Japanese health trend, such as chokatsu. So basically, this is a channel about how to increase health span, especially for people over 50 or over 60. So if you're interested, please subscribe to this channel. Thank you. Now, so living longer, staying healthy, what are the differences between the two? Well, basically, they're the same. I mean, when you say live longer, you are trying to extend your lifespan. And staying healthy is expanding your health span. So you stay healthy until you die. Recently, when people talk about living longer or increasing your lifespan, it means increasing your health span too, because you cannot live longer without increasing your health span. So those are the together. But it is possible that you only extend your lifespan and not health span. Therefore, these days, many people use the term health span, increasing your health span is the goal. And me too, I always talk about increasing your health span, but basically those two are the same. So, living longer or staying healthy. So today I will say staying healthy. Now, so what activities make you stay healthy? That's the same as, living longer that I shared with you in the last video. So things like diet, exercise, fasting, sleep, heat and cold exposure, and brain optimization. Those are the common activities considered to be important for health and longevity. And in the last video, I asked this question: which one is the best? If you are to choose one activity, which activity is the best? And the answer was none of them. None of them was the best because everything is important and they are all interrelated. So you want to approach your health holistically. Practicing all 6 activities gives you the optimal result or synergetic result. So it is better to practice all 6 activities. Having said that, in the last video, I shared with you 4 best activities because for some of you, six are too many. So I just narrow them down into four groups. And these are diet, fasting, exercise, and sleep. Basically, you can practice those four. That is also fine. Now, having said that none of these activities is the best, there is one element or one condition that is absolutely, absolutely critical in staying healthy. You need this condition to stay healthy. That is not an activity. It's not like a diet or exercise or fasting. It's not an activity. It's a condition. Regardless of what you do, whether you only choose diet or only you choose exercise or you choose to do all six of them, you need this specific condition. So what is this most important condition in staying healthy? Now, before revealing this, I'd like to introduce my book, Live Wiser, Not Smarter. In the book, I talk about those six activities I just mentioned: diet, fasting, exercise, sleep, heat and cold exposure, and brain optimization. So you will understand fully what they are and why these activities are critical for health and longevity. So please read the book if you want to know about them more in detail. Thank you. Now, so what is this most important condition in staying healthy? I think it is adherence or sustainability, that you need to be able to continue doing your activity. Regardless of what you do, whether it's diet or exercise or fasting, you have to practice it. You have to practice it not just for one day or 1 week. You need to continue doing for years and years. I'm 62 years old now, and if I want to stay healthy into old age, into my 80s or 90s, I need to continue doing those activities for the next 20 to 30 years. If I stop doing them after 3 months, it won't work. How optimal they are, it will not help me. So practicing the activities is one condition you definitely need. Therefore, adherence, sustainability, to be able to continue those activities is the most critical element in staying healthy. So how can you continue doing all those activities? Is that your willpower? Yeah, willpower is important. I mean, I do have a kind of strong willpower. Therefore, I think that's one of my secrets to staying healthy. I have a strong willpower. I do usually practice what I decide to do. If you have willpower, that's fine, but not everybody has willpower. But there's another thing that can help you continue doing all those activities, is to making your activities your ikigai. Yes. Now, what does ikigai mean? Probably you're familiar with ikigai if you've been watching this channel, but in case if you don't know, there are two meanings to ikigai. One is daily joys or pleasures that motivate you to live, such as, morning coffee or spending some time with your grandchildren, or, going for a walk. That can be your ikigai, or even, drinking beer or drinking wine can be ikigai to some people, or watching TV, singing songs. There are many daily joys or pleasures that motivate you to live. You feel, oh, I'm living. This is the reason why I'm living for. And then the second meaning is slightly deeper. It is life purposes or missions that define who you are. It could be your work or your community activities or something that is like your mission, like you feel you're contributing to the society and this is the reason why you exist. So it's slightly deeper. And then today, I'll focus on the first meaning, like daily joys or pleasure. So it can be something very small. Usually, things you enjoy doing, something you enjoy doing, something that you look forward to doing every day, and therefore it motivates you to live and becomes your ikigai. To making your longevity activities your ikigai, that is the best thing. Now, recently, in the health and longevity field, exercise is one thing that is highly recommended. Some people say exercise is the number one longevity activity. So, I gave you those 6 activities, and I said none of them is number one. But many longevity experts say exercise is the number one activity, and they give you a specific regimen, such as, zone 2 exercise. You need to do at least 180 minutes a week, and you need to do, strength training, muscle strengthening training 2 or 3 times a week. And you need like a VO2 max training, which is more like a high intensity aerobic activity once a week. And you need to do some like, HIIT, high intensity interval training, or stretching, some balance training, and so on. They have a list of optimal exercises and list of duration and frequency and everything. I mean, including myself. I mean, I do talk about those things in my book as well. But anyway, that is very popular now. But the problem with optimal exercise is that it is often suggested by fitness-centered experts. Those longevity experts tend to like fitness. They enjoy working out. Some of them were athletes in their past, or if they're not professional athletes, they took part in different kind of sporting activities quite, a lot in their life. They, participate in a marathon race or swimming, or so for them, doing that kind of regimen is a piece of cake. It's not a stress for them. It's easy for them. And then they tend to attract many viewers who are into fitness. Slightly younger people, people in their 30s and 40s. I don't know if they need to think about longevity. It's too young to think about longevity, but yet, health and longevity is popular among younger people. Because they're young and they have a lot of energy, it's a piece of cake for them to do all those regimens. And those activities become so popular, shared on the internet everywhere. And somehow it became the thing, the like longevity activity these days. But what if you don't enjoy those activities? What if you're not a sport person? What if you're not, into fitness, and you haven't done that kind of activity so much in your life? It is very hard to do all of them. And it probably creates more stress in your life. Now, do you know this guy? His name is Aki. He has a YouTube channel called Samurai Matcha. Oh, it's an excellent channel. I mean, he creates wonderful videos. Like I'm terrible with technology. I cannot edit I don't know anything about editing and shooting all those scenes and stuff like that. But he makes excellent videos, and he spends so much time doing it. While he is giving his presentation, he demonstrates, he shows everything in like a motion pictures, which he himself does it. So there's a scene of him walking, the scene of him cycling, a scene of him making miso, scenes of him, talking to people and so on. And so the editing is fantastic. The video is very well made. I highly recommend his videos. But anyway, one of the videos, he visited Okinawa, and then he interviewed some centenarians in Okinawa. And you know what they said? They said they don't work out. Centenarians don't work out. But that is the same throughout most Japanese blue zone. That is the same in Kyotango. People don't work out. They don't go to the gym. Even jogging is not so common. In Shiga, which is the longest living prefecture in Japan, I haven't seen many old people jogging. They walk, but not jog, or they don't go to the gym. So what do they do? Why do they stay healthy? Well, one thing they do is gardening. This is very common among old people throughout Japan. They work in their garden, and that's the same with most blue zones. And the second thing is they walk. They walk a lot. This is the woman in Kyotango. She walks every day. So walking and gardening are common activities among centenarians. The interesting thing is they don't put themselves in a specific regimen. They do the gardening or they walk because these activities are their ikigais. They garden because it is their ikigai. They walk because it is their ikigai. Ikigai is the secret to sustainability. If you make your activity your ikigai, you naturally practice it every single day, and you naturally continue doing it for a long time. So, ikigai activity is optimal then. Uh, well, probably not. I mean, those centurions were living in the past, maybe 20 or 30 years ago. And then around that time, we didn't have enough knowledge about health and longevity. We didn't have a scientific understanding of what makes you become healthy and what makes you live longer. But now we do. In the last few years, especially, tons of research has been conducted in the field of health and longevity. We now have a lot more data about diet, exercise, fasting, and everything. So, compared to that, true, maybe walking and gardening are not optimal. But who said it has to be optimal? Why is it so important to be optimal? This is a very the Western mentality. Now, people always trying to find the best method or number one approach. And in the last few years too, many experts are almost competing to decide who can find the best approach. So they compare different kind of fasting method, different kind of dietary practices, and different kind of exercise to define which one is more optimal and so on. And then for some reason, people want to be the winners. But does it really help our health and longevity? I mean, does it make that much difference? That is my question. So in Japan, we have a concept called Hara Hachibunme, this 80% full business. So I say this is more for the dietary practice that you stop eating when you are 80% full, but it applies to other fields too. It's like you don't have to stop, but you don't need to reach perfection. This is the Japanese mentality. We don't always value becoming number one or winning the race or anything, because becoming number one means you create number twos or number threes. So those people feel bad, those people feel less because you became number one. And in order to create harmony, it is better not to become the best. This is the Japanese mentality, which is quite different from the regular Western, this winning mentality. But it is actually good for you too. Not necessarily your opponent, but just for you too. It's much easier because we are not perfect. We're not all perfect. And life is not always perfect. If you're aiming for perfection, it gives you so much pressure. You have to be number one. You have to do everything perfectly. It is so much stressful to keep that standard all the time. Just relax. You can just aim 80% optimal, and that is fine too. That is still a lot better than not doing anything. Now, let's break down some of the benefits to not reaching perfection. Now, so if you're aiming for 80% optimal, you have 20% left. And this 20% space gives you the freedom to choose activities. Okay, so I said walking and gardening, but if you say, oh, they are not optimal, but HIIT is optimal, then you feel, oh, shit, I have to do HIIT. Gardening is not enough. But if you're just aiming 80%, you can do gardening, you can do walking, or you can, play tennis or many other activities. They are all fine. It becomes easier. You have the freedom to select your activity that you can enjoy doing. And then it gives you space to cheat. You don't need to perfectly follow your regimen all the time. Some people continue practicing their regimen even while they're on vacation, even while they go on business trip. They carry dumbbells and things on an airplane. I mean, relax. When you're on a business trip, maybe you can change your schedule a little bit. When you're on vacation, you can take a rest. That's what the vacation is all about. So, But if you're aiming just 80% optimal, then this 20% space gives you that freedom to cheat, the freedom to relax. And it gives you the flexibility to develop other areas of your life. Physical health is not the only thing in your life. You want to do other things. As we get older, you have more important things to think about, such as spirituality, because eventually we'll die at some point, and we want to prepare for that too. I mean, what happens after dying? But all people talk about is improving your health, improving your physical health. That's only the body, the physical body. If you lose your body, you lose everything. So what about spirituality? If you're just using 80% optimal approach, you have a space to work on your spirituality as well. Therefore, Hara Hachibunme is the way to go. 80% optimal. And if you're aiming for 80% optimal, then you can include Ikigai activities as your health activities. So today, I will share with you 4 Ikigai activities that can help you slow your aging. Again, those activities can be changed depending on who you are. I mean, you need to find your own activity, the activity that you can enjoy yourself. But I'll just give you 4 activities as examples. The first one is walking, definitely walking. This is something practiced among centenarians, and it is probably the easiest exercise you can do. It's something we do all the time anyway. Even when you don't exercise, you walk to the store, you walk to the yard. It is the easiest to incorporate into your daily life. Just if you live in a city, then you can walk on the high street, maybe walk from the bottom of the high street to the top of the high street every single day, and that becomes a great exercise. But it's fun because you can look at the stores, restaurants, cafes, and maybe you stop at a cafe and drink a cup of coffee on the way, and it becomes a fun activity. It becomes your ikigai. It's something you look forward to doing every single day. So that is a great way. And gardening. This is another common activities in Blue Zone, and it is wonderful because it is productive. It is work. So you're not exercising for the sake of exercise. You have another purpose. You are part of the community. You're contributing something to society because this is an environmentally friendly action, and you become in touch with microorganisms in the soil and the plants, insects. You feel the sun, you feel the rain, the wind, and you become in tune with the natural kingdom. It's a fantastic activity. And then you have the fruit, you have the produce. After growing vegetable, you get to eat those organic vegetables, which are wonderful for your health. So you can create this Shindo Fuji activity. Your body and soil are as one through gardening. For many older people, gardening is their ikigai. I know in Shiga too. So all my neighbors in their 80s and 90s, they work in their garden, and then many of them, gardening is their ikigai. Now, the third one is traveling. Traveling is wonderful because when you travel, you automatically walk a lot. When you go to a new place, you because you're curious, you want to explore the town, and you end up walking a lot. It's a great walking exercise, but it's not a regular walking. When you go for a walk in your town every day, it is fun, but you kind of get boring. It's sort of mundane because you've seen this place so many times. But when you go to a new place, it is mentally stimulating. It's an adventure. You want to walk because you want to explore. Curiosity motivates you to walk. It's sort of natural process. It's great for your brain health too. Great thing about traveling is you can look forward to traveling. So before traveling for 1 or 2 months, you check the map, you read a guidebook, you can watch YouTube videos about those locations that you're going to, and you can feel very excited about it. And then when you come back from traveling, you share your stories to your friends and families. And so you can kind of spend quite a long time being excited about your traveling. You don't have to travel abroad or anything like that. You can even think of smaller excursions, like, once a month or so, you go neighboring town, neighboring villages or cities or anywhere nearby. But because you're going to a new place, you want to explore. So it's refreshing. It's different from regular walking in your neighborhood. So traveling, it becomes your ikigai. Now, Nagano, Nagano used to be the longest living prefecture in Japan. I mean, it still is, but now the Shiga became number one. Nagano came in second, but still, Nagano is long living prefecture. And one of their secret is traveling. So people in Nagano travel the most in Japan. Out of all those prefectures in Japan, people in Nagano travel the most. So traveling is one activity Nagano people do. So it shows how traveling can contribute to your health and longevity. The last activity is learning. Want to continue learning, especially as you get old, it is very important to continue learning for your brain health. You want to keep using brain. And if you have a chance, if you're retired and you have a lot of time, then I recommend that you enroll in a college. Again, you enroll in a full-time college program or community college or anything to become a student again. Then you keep learning, and also you make friends. You have a social life that contribute to your ikigai tremendously. So enrolling in a college, becoming a student is one of the best ways to create ikigai in your life. But maybe not full time, because it's a little tiring to do it every single day, but you can just take a course at a community college, like, a few times a week, or evening classes or something. Or you can learn anything on the internet now. On YouTube, there are tons of courses offered, or there are courses offered or single learning videos on almost any topic you want to learn. So it is easy to study these days compared to in the past. All those centenarians in Blue Zone, so they didn't have this kind of opportunity then. So I don't know how much learning they did, but now you have a chance to study anything using AI too. You can actually make your AI to be your private tutor and do a one-on-one lessons every single day. You can learn a language using AI or learn anything. It is very fun. Why not to use this wonderful opportunity to learn and make it your ikigai? Okay, to sum up, walking, gathering, traveling, and learning can be your four ikigai activities. But again, it's up to you. There are many other things that can become your ikigai. Sauna can be wonderful ikigai. I enjoy having sauna, and it's probably easier than even walking, because for some people, walking still require some energy, but sauna is much easier. So please find your own ikigai activities. Now, so I said staying 80% healthy, Hara Hachibunme, not 50% healthy. Now, you need to be careful, because when you choose ikigai activities, some activities can be good, but they are not optimal. I told you they're not optimal, and you only become 50% healthy, which is still better than nothing, better than 0%. But I think 80% is the sweet spot. It is optimal enough, yet you have the advantage of having this 20% space that I talked about before. Therefore, aiming for 80% healthy is the smart approach. And to do that, you need to understand science. You need to understand what makes you stay healthy. You need to study the optimal approaches. Regardless of whether you practice them or not, you first want to know them. Then you can decide for yourself whether these activities are too difficult for you to practice or they're easy enough to practice. You get to choose. So first, knowing the optimal approach is important. Then you find some activities that can become your Ikigai. So to do that, please read my book, Live Wiser, Not Smarter. The book covers optimal diet, optimal fasting, the optimal exercise, the optimal sleep, the optimal heat and cold exposure, and the optimal brain optimization. You can read the book during this holiday season. You have some time and you can read the book. It doesn't take a long time. You can read the book within a half a day. It's very short, about 120 pages. It's a very short book. Then you will be ready for 2025. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Again, my name is Hachiaki Takamiya, the author of Live Wiser, Not Smarter. If you like this video, please give me your thumb up and subscribe to my channel. And please leave your comment. What are your Ikigai activities? If you are to give 4 Ikigai activities, what activities are they? Thank you. Well, I will see you in the next video. Live with your Ikigai!